In this video, we'll break down the third shot drop, we'll explore the biggest mistakes players make when executing it, and we'll talk about modern pickleball mechanics and decision-making that lead to consistent results. The third shot drop is one of the most important and unique shots in pickleball, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. This breakdown focuses on the most common errors and the exact adjustments that lead to a more reliable and effective third shot drop. One of the most common mistakes is attempting a third shot drop from the wrong area of the court, particularly from behind the baseline. While the third shot drop is often the correct strategic choice, spacing determines whether it is actually viable. When players are positioned behind the baseline, the margin for error becomes extremely small. The ball must travel higher and land softer, which increases the difficulty significantly. From this position, trying to execute a perfect drop often leads to either hitting the ball too high, giving the opponent an easy attack, or missing into the net. High-level players use a simple adjustment. When positioned behind the baseline, they choose a third shot drive instead of forcing a drop. This drive is not meant to win the point, but to set up the next shot. The goal of the drive is to force a defensive block that produces a shorter, more manageable ball. Once the player moves forward and gets inside the court, the drop becomes a much higher percentage option. This adjustment creates a structured progression. Instead of forcing a low percentage shot from a difficult position, the player builds toward a better opportunity. Another major issue comes from the belief that a successful third shot drop requires heavy topspin. This leads players to use large, fast swings in an attempt to generate spin. These exaggerated motions reduce control and make the shot inconsistent. The more complex the swing becomes, the harder it is to manage the paddle face at contact. In reality, the third shot drop does not require excessive spin. The primary goal is simply to place the ball in a controlled area that allows progression toward the kitchen line. A more effective approach uses a short, compact swing with the paddle kept in front of the body. This positioning allows the player to see both the paddle and the ball, improving contact consistency. The paddle face direction at contact is the most important factor. If the face is not aligned correctly, the ball will not travel to the intended target regardless of swing effort. A natural upward and forward motion will produce enough spin without forcing it. Even shots with minimal or no topspin can still be effective drops if they are placed correctly. By simplifying the swing and focusing on control, players achieve a much higher level of consistency. Contact point relative to the body is another frequent source of inconsistency. Players often hit drops either too close to their body or too far away. When the ball is too close, players feel cramped and unable to extend properly. This often happens when they are not ready in time or fail to prepare before the ball arrives. A common cause is not performing a split step before the opponent makes contact. Without this preparation, the player reacts late and is forced into an uncomfortable position. Standing too close to the baseline after the serve also contributes to this problem. When the return comes deep, the player has no space to adjust and is forced into a rushed or cramped contact. The solution is to create space and prepare early. A split step before the opponent hits the ball allows for proper movement and positioning. Taking a step back after serving also creates more time and space to execute the shot cleanly. On the opposite side, hitting the ball too far away from the body creates a different issue. When players reach excessively, they rely almost entirely on their arm or wrist to generate the shot. This reduces control and eliminates the contribution of the body. Proper contact should feel balanced, with the body supporting the shot rather than the arm working alone. Reaching errors are typically caused by poor footwork. Failing to move toward the ball forces players into extended positions. Improving footwork and positioning allows for a more natural and controlled contact point. Many players attempt to land their drops extremely shallow in the kitchen, regardless of their court position. While a short drop can be effective, attempting it from too far back creates unnecessary difficulty. From the baseline, hitting a ball that travels high enough to clear the net and then drops sharply into the kitchen requires a very precise trajectory. This significantly reduces margin for error. As a result, players often either hit the ball too short into the net or too high, allowing the opponent to attack. A more effective approach is adjusting the target based on court position. From deeper areas of the court, aiming slightly higher and deeper into the kitchen provides more margin. This forces the opponent to contact the ball around their feet or lower legs, which still creates a manageable situation for the advancing player. As the player moves closer to the kitchen line, it becomes easier to aim shorter and more precise. This progression reflects a fundamental concept. Shot selection and targeting should evolve based on court position rather than remaining constant. One of the most damaging habits is immediately sprinting to the kitchen after hitting a third shot drop. If the drop is not perfect, the opponent can easily attack the ball at the player's feet while they are still moving forward. This creates a difficult and often unmanageable defensive situation. Another variation of this mistake occurs when one partner advances while the other remains behind, creating poor court coverage. High-level players approach this phase with patience and structure. Instead of rushing forward, they move gradually through the transition zone. After hitting a drop, the player advances and then performs a split step before the opponent makes contact. This prepares them to react to the next shot. From there, they continue working forward using additional drops or resets as needed. This process repeats until they reach the kitchen line under control. This method emphasizes using the midcourt effectively rather than bypassing it. The transition zone becomes a space to manage the rally, not something to rush through. The key concept is controlled progression. Advancing in stages maintains balance and allows for consistent responses to the opponent's shots. The third shot drop becomes significantly more reliable when approached with the correct structure and intent. When these elements are applied together, the third shot drop transforms from an inconsistent shot into a controlled and repeatable part of a winning strategy.